Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we have 5 Easter DIY projects. These are super fun. I'm excited to share them. I'm going to be using Dollar Tree items, thrifted items, and items all in between. So let's get started on these projects. With the first project, we're going to be making wood carrots, and to do that, we're going to be using these shims. I grabbed these shims from Home Depot. I believe that they're less than $2 a pack, and I'm going to grab 4 shims per carrot. Now, the reason why I did 4 shims instead of 3 is because I'm going to take this greenery from Hobby Lobby and I'm going to sandwich the greenery in between the shims. So that's why I wanted it to be even, for like 2 on one side, 2 on the other. So I'm going to hot glue the wood shims together, and before I hot glue all of them together, because I did that the first time where I made the mistake, make sure you glue the greenery in between them before you glue all of them together. So, professional note there. So once those are all hot glued together, I'm going to paint 2 orange. I'm using Pumpkin by Waverly. 2 are going to be white, and 2 are going to be celery, and they are all Waverly chalk paints. So I am going for like almost full coverage, but not like true full coverage, because I do want them to kind of look rustic. Once they are fully dry, I'm going to do like a faux distressing by adding brown chalk paint, just using a chip brush, a dry chip brush. So just doing the dry brushing method. Wow, that is a tongue twister. So I do that to all of them, and then I'm going to add twine to, like, I'm going to make a twine bow, and I'm going to add it to each of the carrots. Now, I'm not very good at making bows, so this was the easiest way for me to make it. I know there are a ton of tutorials out there for you, but this was what I found the easiest. So once I wrap it around the card stack there, then I'm going to take another small piece of twine and tie it around the middle to make my bow, and then I hot glue them to each carrot, and these are done. I love them. You can create such a cute vignette on tiered trays or on a hutch or anything like that. So definitely let me know what you guys think. For this project, we are going to be using this wood bunny from the Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to be using a frame that I got at an estate sale recently. So I'm going to give a nice light sanding to the bunny because it is from the Dollar Tree, so it's not super smooth. And instead of using a real stain, I'm going to use brown acrylic paint to kind of do like a faux stain. So I apply it all over the top and sides, and then I'm going to wipe it off for, like I said, that faux stain. I'm not worried about the back because I'm going to be hot gluing it to the frame. So once the bunny is completely dry, then I am going to add glue to it to do the crackle method. So I have done this before, and I'm going to do it again because it is so simple, so easy, and it works so well. But before I do that, I'm showing you that I'm trying to figure out what background I want to do. I was torn between this background or this like brown burlappy fabric background. So I end up doing the fabric background, but let me know what you guys would have done. So for the crackle method, I am adding a healthy amount of glue to mainly the top of the bunny. I'm not too worried about the sides. Then I'm not even going to let it dry. I'm going to grab another chip brush and do a thick layer of paint on top of it. I do not want to wipe, go back and forth a lot because then I'm going to mix up the glue. And if I mix up the glue, then I'm not going to get the crackle method. So I apply heat to mine to speed up the process, not only to speed up the crackle, but to also speed up the dry time. And I love how applying the heat makes the crackle come out even more. So once that is completely dry, I'm going to get ready to attach it to my frame. So with the frame, like I said, I decided on this like burlap fabric. I've had this cardstock forever. I don't even know where I got it from, but I'm finally using it. So I'm crafting my stash. So I am going to attach it directly to the glass because I need a good background, like a sturdy background, because I'm attaching the bunny to it and I didn't need the glass. So instead of throwing it away, I decided to just attach it this way. I did realize once I put the fabric on that it blended in really well with the frame. So then I did some dry brushing of the white chalk paint. I don't know if it made it match more, but I think it helped. Let me know what you guys would have done. But I think it definitely helped adding something else to that piece. So I attach everything to the frame and then I'm going to place my bunny on the frame and I'm going to add some florals. These florals I grabbed from a recent estate sale in a floral arrangement and I did a DIY on that floral arrangement and I still have plenty of flowers left over. So these are from that. I just grabbed a couple that I liked and I hot glued them to the bunny and attached the bunny to the frame. This one is done. I really, really like this one. Let me know if you guys would have added anything else to it. I wasn't sure if I should have added like a tag or something, but at the same time, I like the simplicity of it and how the florals like just make the bunny pop. So definitely let me know. For this project, so this one kind of takes a couple turns. I am using these terracotta pots that I got from Walmart. They're like 97 cents a piece, which is score. And I'm also going to be using these carrots from the Dollar Tree. So on the first terracotta pot, I thought, oh, I could just dry brush it to give it that like whitewashed look. Well, it looked horrible. I did not like it. So I went on a different route, which was a lot more time consuming, but I think looks a million times better. So I painted it all black. I even got a little bit on the inside of the rim as well, just in case you were to see inside of it. But I did the entire thing black, and then I added brown acrylic paint, and I stippled it on. Well, I realized as it was drying that it was gonna dry flat. So I added baking soda to the brown paint and I re-stippled the brown paint on the terracotta pots. So now the texture from the stippling will actually dry like that. And I want to do that because I am going for a layered effect and an aged worn effect. So once that dries, I'm going to add clear wax to areas on the terracotta pot that I want to distress. So I've never done this before, but I have seen people do it and I've wanted to try it. So I'm adding it on areas of where I did the brown, where I did the black, and just in random spots. So I got all that done and then I am adding my top coat, my white chalk paint. I believe I only did one coat. I did like a good coverage, but it wasn't like 100% full coverage, but enough, if that makes sense. So once those fully dry, now I'm going to apply packing tape to the entire terracotta pot. And this is where when you apply the white wax, this is where you're going to get the distressing. So when you apply the packing tape, it's going to lift off the areas where you had applied the chalk paint over top of the wax. And I guess it's kind of similar to the candle wax method, which I have done before. But this worked really, really well, and you don't have to sand anything, which is great. I love how this turned out. So I realized that it needed a little bit something extra to make it look a little dirtier, if you will. So I added clear wax to the entire terracotta pot, and while the wax was still wet, I'm adding I think it's called, like, is it Dixie Belle dirt or just dirt? It's by Dixie Belle, and it literally looks like dirt. So I'm sprinkling it onto the terracotta pot, like I said, while the wax is still wet, and I'm just taking this chip brush to smooth it and apply it all over, and it's giving that you know aged look to it. I love how that turned out. So once those dried, I am now ready to stuff my terracotta pots, and I grabbed this moss from Hobby Lobby. I was going to grab the moss from the Dollar Tree because I only needed a little bit, but my Dollar Tree didn't have it, and I wasn't driving all over town. So I just ran to the Hobby Lobby, which was close by. This was what they had, and I actually really like this one a lot more. It looks really realistic, and a little bit goes a long way. So I'm probably going to use this from now on. And like I said, I just really liked it. So I hot glue the moss to the styrofoam, but I do not glue the carrots in because I want to be able to remove the carrots once Easter is done and then put different florals in it for, later in the spring, even summer, because I really like these terracotta pots and I want to keep them. And even if I don't want to keep the moss in it, I did not glue the styrofoam, so the styrofoam can easily come out as well. But anyways, I decided it needed a little extra something, so I used packing tape or packing paper, like packaging paper that was already like crumpled up. I stamped bunny treats on it, and this is done. What do you guys think? For this project, we are going to be using old trim, or if you have beadboard would work as well. I've had this trim for a while. My husband used it for a project, I think, and had a bunch left over. So I cut it down to 3 different sizes. I do not remember the sizes, but you can cut it to whatever size you want because we're going to be making carrots to put on top of them. So whatever size you want. I did lightly sand them just to smooth them out, and I'm adding brown wax to give it that older look without, having to distress or anything like that. So I know you could do like fabric with this project. I really wanted to use ribbon, like wired ribbon, because it would make shaping it easier for me, but whatever works for you, definitely do it. So I grabbed this orange ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I was able to get 7 beadboard carrots with this one pack of ribbon. So just in case you guys like to resell or anything like that. So a little bit did go, that ribbon went a long way. So I had this greenery from Hobby Lobby. I've had it for a while. It's actually a garland, and it goes a long way. I've used it on several projects. So I attached the greenery, as you saw, with the staple gun, and once I had formed my carrot with the wired ribbon, I attached it with hot glue, and that's why I wanted to use the wire ribbon. This is pretty much done at this point. I did add a twine bow to the top, and I did the same way I did with the first project, how I make my little simple bows. But these are done. I love these for shelf sitters. You can also add any type of hanging hardware to the back of it if you wanted to hang it, but I really like how this adds a nice rustic touch to any vignette or area that you have. For our last project, we're going to be using these eggs from the Dollar Tree. I wanted to find something that I could add to my tiered tray for Easter, and these fit perfectly. I also really liked how they were already in that carton, so I just wanted to jazz them up a little bit. And I was going to do the concrete, like faux concrete method, but I changed my mind. So I'm adding 2 coats of, it's called Lamp White by Fusion Paint. I add 2 coats to all of the eggs. I wanted to use this color for 2 reasons. One, because it had a built-in primer, so I didn't have to seal it. And also, I like how this white is kind of like a cooler white than like stark white. So I thought it kind of looked more realistic for an egg. And then I was like, all right, I need to change them up. I need like a little something, like some kind of difference with them. So I decided to do 3 eggs that had more of a brown tone. So I add brown wax and I just wipe it off. And then for the other 3, I add I believe it's, oh, I forget the color blue. It's like Savannah Mist or something by Dixie Belle. And I just use a dry chip brush and I like dab it all over so it kind of has that speckled look. And that one's my favorite. I really like how those looked. So I did, like I said, I did 3 and 3. And then I hot glue the eggs to the carton because I kind of want to tilt them in my tiered tray and I don't want them like flopping around or anything. So I attach them and then I thought that it was missing a little something. It needed a little something else, but I didn't want too much because I already have some greenery going on my tiered tray, but I added just a little bit of, I did end up adding a little bit of greenery. So it was just leftover like scrap greenery that I had, and I applied it to the middle of the carton, and I think it just made it look a little bit more like fresh and natural looking. So this one's done. Super easy. I love this one. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed these DIY projects. Please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. And if you liked this video and you like other thrift flips and DIY projects, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a lot more coming up. And next week's video is actually a Pinterest inspired like vignette video. So I'm going to have some DIY projects as well as decorating the vignette. So definitely stay tuned for next week and I will see y'all then. Bye guys.